Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody is having a great weekend. Happy Sunday. This week is going to be pretty nuts in the market. Welcome to the first edition of Sunday Swing. So, this isn't going to take too long, everybody. I don't want to wait or take up too much of your guys' time. We're going to get through all of the setups that I have for you guys this afternoon, and then we're going to get ready for an awesome trading week. So, again, if you guys are new, welcome. My name's Short the Vix, or my name's Jack, but I go by Short the Vix on the internet. I find stocks that are about to explode before they do, with fundamentals, technicals, and a lot of macro as well. Now, I create every single week watch lists of stocks that are about to explode before they do for my private community. A lot of you guys are probably in here. Welcome. Good to see you guys back. Love you guys. We always have a good time in the Discord there. But I want to come on here and give a couple of these setups every single week to you guys as well that are just out there in the open. So if you guys do enjoy these streams, you like the value that I provide here, if you guys wouldn't mind, all I ask for, hit that like button. Just helps me spread these streams out to some more people. So the first thing that I want to do is recap one of the trades from last week and go over a little bit of what we saw last week to kind of get us prepared for what to look for going into this week. So the first trade, I really didn't trade a whole lot last week. We were going into non-farm payrolls, which we are going to talk about, but CRM, Salesforce, was an absolutely awesome trade. So we were able to enter this one from one of the watch lists that I sent out right above this 274.50 area. And this thing just rocket ship right up to our levels. Again, that first take profit area, I like to scale out of my positions, especially with options, at about 100 to 150% to go risk-free, take my initial investment back, and then hunt further targets with basically just house money. So in this example here, the second target was about 285. So that hit on Friday. So if you guys follow me on either Twitter or Instagram, I was posting about that. That was a really, really solid scale out there. And then the last target that I'm going to have for this one is going to be about 290. So let's see if we can hit that this week. It'd be great, but either way, the remainder of this trade could expire completely worthless, and I would still make money on the trade. So let's see. Then I want to briefly just talk about non-farm payrolls with you guys. So a lot of you guys should have seen that the payroll data, the job gains that we witnessed in September, was a lot higher than expected. Now, these are things that you absolutely have to know and understand if you want to have long-term success in the market. I say this a lot. If you don't understand these things, if you just try to put your little cookie cutter setup onto the charts every single day, it's probably not going to go well for you. And that's one of the main reasons why so many people struggle in the market, because they just think they can look at one silly thing and it's going to make them money over time. Now, what we do is very simple, but we use our brain when we're operating in the market. So thinking about NFP, what does significant job growth tell us about the overall economy? Well, it's two things. The Fed is cutting into potential economic growth, which could lead to reinflation fears coming in the near future. And that's exactly what we started to see in the bond market on Friday as well. With these 10-year treasury yields significantly moving to the upside. You guys have seen, I've been talking about the short bonds idea for a while on Twitter. That's basically what this chart is representing here. Yields going up is an inverse relationship to bond prices. So bond prices are coming down. A lot of you guys were able to nail that TLT and TMF top tick, or some of you guys that actually took that upside trade on TBT. Congratulations to you guys there. That was a really good one that we had in the Discord. So thinking about that backdrop of reinflation fears, I want you guys to think about what large, and this is going to get into the first ticker that I want to talk about for this week. I want you guys to think about where large money institutions, and this is an example of us using our brain. If we understand the macro landscape and say, okay, there are reinflation fears out there in the market, and then we'll do a little Q&A after as well. I think we'll add that into these. If we add reinflation fears into the market, where does large money need to put capital or allocate capital towards? Well, assets that are going to benefit with inflation. What are those? Hard assets. So what would be an example of that? Precious metals, gold, silver, uranium. And when you look at the chart of gold here, it looks like exactly what we would want to see when stocks are about to make big moves before they do. Another good example, I mean, you'll see that the NVIDIA chart from a couple of weeks ago, right in this area here, looks very, very, very similar to what we're seeing on gold. Stocks like to move in stair-stepping fashions, and it is our duty to just take advantage of those moves. It's very, very, very simple. So when we have that macro backdrop and we say, okay, are there charts out there that we can then take advantage of that are setting up very well? Yes, gold is one. So that's the first one here. So I actually have a really small position on gold for this upcoming week's expiration date. So I think those are red a little bit, but it's really, really, really small. Just to kind of hedge against the gap up. It's not technically a hedge, obviously, but you know what I mean. I don't want this thing to aggressively gap, and then I have to go chase it. So that's another thing. I mean, most people that are operating in the market, they come in and they try and buy stocks when they've already moved. Not us. We come in and buy stocks that are about to explode right as they're starting to move. So we're never late. You never want to chase. So here's my plan and what I would look for out of gold. Now, if we can come up and take out Friday's high, 246.67. So set your alerts wherever you do that, on your broker, on TradingView, on GLD here. That is where I would look to start entering a little bit of a longer dated position. So maybe I'd go for like November expirations on gold. Now, I'd be looking for strikes of probably 250, 255, or 260. That's about where I'm going to be. Now, for sizing as well, for some of you guys, because this might be a little bit new to some of you with options, if you're going to trade this with shares, your entry is going to be right around this area, and your stop is going to be at the day low of whatever day it actually comes up and breaks this level. So, I mean, a good example of this right here is NVIDIA. As soon as we were breaking this area here, it stops should actually be a little lower. You come up, you break this area, you get your entry here, your stop goes below day low, and then you can carry this thing all the way up to those further take profit levels. Very, very, very simple. Gold, same thing. This is going to be a common theme with a lot of these setups that you guys are going to notice. Let's see. Alfie, we'll get to that. Let's see. Yeah, you could trade. I mean, and here's the other thing too. I'm highlighting GLD here for you guys, and I'm going to try to not pay too much attention to the live chat until the end when we do that little Q&A. But yes, you can take advantage of it with gold futures. If you trade Forex, which you shouldn't, I mean, some of you guys are still going to do it. You're not going to listen, and that's fine. Do what you got to do. But yeah, I'm just highlighting this because this is what I'm going to be using to take advantage of movements up in the price of gold. So that's the first one here. Very, very, very simple. The next one, which I find very interesting, is Snow. Snow really has my attention here, and you guys will notice a very, very similar setup that we're seeing on Snow here to what we saw on Nike and Airbnb. If we go back to those two Nike trades that I gave you guys in the Discord, which, oh, by the way, everybody gets their first month for 50% off. It comes out to like $1 a day. So we'll talk a little bit about that after for those of you guys that are interested. So let's look at those two other trades and those setups and see how they played out to give you guys a little bit of a better picture of what we're looking at on Snow. So this is Airbnb. It's not perfect. Not everything is going to show up and look the same. There's a little bit of a different setup than what I like to typically trade. But these bases, after a significant move to the downside, can offer some really, really awesome risk to reward moves, which you see here on Airbnb. So on this day here, we ended up gapping above the level that I was actually really interested in, 119.50. When we do get those big gap ups above these levels, it's very similar to the post-earning strategy that I have where I'm just looking for the 5-minute opening range break. So when that first 5-minute candle forms, you break that 5-minute high. That's where I'm able to take my entries, and that my stop goes at that 5-minute candle low, which is the current day low for that day. So you can see here the Airbnb trade played out very nicely, but Nike reminds me a lot more of what we're looking at on Snow right now. Right in here, I'll show you guys where we got this trade. It was this day right here. This is a great one. You guys in the Discord will all remember this Nike trade. So yeah, this was a really awesome one. I ended up selling the majority of my, or I think all of my position at about 390% on the third day that we were in this. So again, I am primarily a swing trader, but I mean, I'm going to be holding these for like, it's usually around like 2 to 3 days to like 2 or 3 weeks is usually how long I'm going to be holding some of these trades. So very, very, very similar here on the Nike chart to what we're looking at on Snow right now. So looking at Snow, what do we see? We see a very, very significant move to the downside. It is starting to base. If we are able to break above that 116.62 area here, that is where I would look to start to get long. So targets on this one, you could target this area here, 122.60. So this key area of support that we had previously, again, with options, if these contracts end up running and I'm in them and they go up 100 to 150%, I'm going to be selling half of my position, taking my initial investment back with some profits, and then hunting further targets. So that 122.72. And then maybe something in here, 132. If we catch a really big runner, 135 or 146. So two really good ones there. Two really good ones there in gold and Snow. So we didn't even talk about the 900% pin duo trade, but I mean, I think a lot of you guys have seen that on TikTok, Instagram, all those other platforms. So now I want to take a look at the last setup that I'm going to give you guys. So again, after this, we are going to do a little bit of Q&A. If you are enjoying what we're doing so far, make sure you guys go down, hit that like button. Cost you nothing to do it. Helps me out a whole lot spreading these streams to as many people who actually want to come in and learn. So let's see. John, thanks for the super, buddy. I'll answer that real quick. Guys, you don't have to send in donations. I do this for you guys. You shorted the VIX more than ever with the target at Tuesday. What's my take? Thank you for your great job. Keep it up. We can take a look at that after this one. You technically can't short the VIX. So I don't know how you did that, but we'll take a look at it. If you can short VIX futures, you can buy puts on volatility ETNs, ETFs. But you can't actually go out and short the VIX. It's an equation. It's like saying, like, can you see out of your elbow? It's like, well, no, you can't because your elbow doesn't have eyes. It's like that. So let's take a look at the last one here. This is RKLB, Rocket Lab USA. Really, really, really strong setup here. It's been moving perfectly for us too. Like what we would like to see out of some of these. I think we highlighted this one in here. I didn't trade this one, but some of you guys might have. This was a really, really good setup in here. Setting up very, very similarly again. So if we are able to get that break above that 10 area here on RKLB, I would look to get long. Obviously, my stop is going to go at that day low with options. I'm usually sizing them for 0 or as soon, again, we talk a lot more about this, like position management in the Discord, but when these trades, if in the event that they start to fade or go against me, I'm usually out of them pretty quickly because I can always re-enter. Never get married to the trade. If it's showing signs of going in the other direction and it's not going to do exactly what your plan for it says it should, cut it, move on to the next one. If it's still valid, you can still wait for a re-entry. So really like this one here above 10 targets on this. I mean, this thing could go on a pretty significant run still. It is looking pretty good. So we do have this area here at around 11.11. This would actually be one that I might trade with shares over options just because it's like an under like $10 stock right now. We'll see. I'll have to take a look at the option chain when this is starting to break, if it does, to just see how liquid those options actually are. But that 11 area for a target, I don't hate. And then you've got a couple of these targets deeper as well at 12.28. And if it really, really, really wants to get going here, I mean, you do have these, but that would be a little bit of a moonshot up into the 17s there. So loving this someday stream. Meowser, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying it, remember, make sure you guys hit that like button. Costs nothing to do it. Helps me out a whole lot. So those are the three setups, guys. Gold, Snow, and RKLB are going to be the three that I'm giving you guys for free this week. All of you guys that if you do want more of this, I do live stream these every single day. I mean, the market just from like, it's about 9 o'clock to about 10:30 every single day. You guys get access to all of the educational courses, the pre-market plans, the full watch list of stocks, FX pairs, and cryptos that are about to explode before they do. This morning, actually, we highlighted SHIB. I don't know where it is now, but this did not want to wait for us at all. If you guys saw that one in the Discord, that is looking good. And I do have a very like special deal for you guys here. It is 50% off your first month to the private community that I have. Use code bullish and it comes out to $1 a day. It's $30 for your first month. So the most insane deal that I'm probably ever going to offer. But let's do a little bit of a Q&A now while I still have you guys. Again, these aren't going to be very long. I want to make sure that you guys have the information that you need going into the next week and have a couple of setups that you guys can look for to help you guys out in your trading every single week. So we'll try to aim for like 2 or 3 really solid setups that I'll give you every single week. It's not going to be like that every week. Sometimes, I mean, it's rare, but sometimes there are no setups. That is another thing. That's why I named the community that I have less trades, more profits. Most people come into the market and they're programmed because of the educational programs that they've gone to in terms of schooling, and then their job that they have to go in. And in order to feel productive every single day, they have to do something in order to keep their employment status or pass the class that they are in. Trading is not that. Most of the time, the best decision in trading is to do nothing and preserve capital so that you can fully take advantage of the amazing trades that are inevitably going to come, like something like yin, where I made, I think, like I forget what the exact amount is, but I'm up like $12,000-$13,000 total on this idea. The Pinduo duos that I gave you guys, the long China thesis, this actually could have been way better than it was. I made about 900% on this. I know a lot of you guys in the Discord made well over 1,000% on this idea here from back at these areas at like the 103 break. The thing's trading at 157 right now. That was 2 weeks ago. That was an insane trade. So let's do a little Q&A. We'll talk about let's talk about the VIX idea first. Again, it's not something that I mess around with a whole lot. It's my YouTube name here and all my other accounts, like Twitter and Instagram and everything. The reason I named it Short the VIX is because it's from a TV show called Industry. Yeah, I mean, it's just when the VIX is coming down, typically the market is going to be trending to the upside there. So it's a bullish name. So again, if we do see the market continue higher after that NFP news, which again, if the market is going to believe that that's real, it's tough to sell that with the insane amount of job revisions that we've seen so far this year. I mean, markets could say, all right, economy's starting to fire up back again. We got to be worried about reinflation fears, but that could boost the market a little bit. I mean, again, that is what we saw for most of the day on Friday with NFP. So all the Forex traders are loving me talking about gold. Yeah, dude, if you have the ability to trade future stocks or options over Forex, like, all right. So, do you take swing positions during major economic events? Yeah. So I do that. I manage those accordingly. So, like, let's say that I have a couple. That's a good question, Don. If I have a setup, like I've done it on Nvidia and AMD a few times. So, if I really like the setup. And again, I usually have a pretty good understanding of how the economic data is looking. So it's not perfect, obviously. You can't predict it 100%. But if I really like a setup, I will hold through, but I'll hedge with some put contracts on like the overall indexes, or I'll just make the position really small, size it for like, I don't want to say less than 0, but like if I'm usually risking like 1%, 2% on an idea, maybe I'll only risk 0.5% or 0.25%, just to make sure that I don't have too much risk out there going into one of those big pieces of economic data. Let's see. Robert says, noob here. I only heard long-term stocks. That's awesome. You're doing way better than most people. What's the difference between shares and options? So, Robert, I do talk a lot about that, and I explain everything in the courses that come with the Discord, but I'll give you a brief overview here. Options are what are called derivatives. So they derive their price from an underlying asset. So if you're trading options on SPY or the S&P 500 ETF, it's going to derive the value of the options is going to be derived from the underlying movements. So if you're in calls, which give you the right to buy shares, you're not obligated to. When you sell calls, you are obligated, or inputs, like shorting them. But yeah, they're effectively financial derivatives that do give you leverage. That's the most basic way to explain it there. But they're typically supposed to be like, the main point of them is to be used as insurance. We don't use them as insurance. We use them to take advantage of price movements. Let's see. Glad I realized this is a public stream and didn't chat about the Discord private swing list. No, I mean, yeah, you guys have a big list this week. It's going to be fun. But yeah, any questions? Let's see. Jeffrey, no, I haven't been over there in like 1.5 years. Or no, it's like a year, I think. Ooh, I am dehydrated. But thanks for the super. Guys, you don't have to send me donations at all. I'm doing this for you guys. I'll see your questions. Thanks, bro. No problem, Robert. No problem. No problem. So yeah, let me pin that. I think I put it in here for you guys. Yeah, I'll pin the link if you guys want to hop in, get your first month for 50% off to the Discord there. But Yeah, I'll hang around here for like another 5 or so minutes, just so if you guys want to. Do I still trade futures with the other? Yeah, yeah, I do. I'm primarily a swing trader though. Yeah, but Meowser, you know that. Swing trade, you always want to focus on swing trading over day trading. Always, always, always. Christopher, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So giving everybody a couple of good tickers to go into the week with. I mean, it'd be nice to find another one of these. That'd be fun. Do you guys go live in the mornings? Yeah, to the Discord. Yeah. Yeah. And then on Fridays, I'm live publicly with you guys. Just everybody out publicly on YouTube. So yeah, that's the only public live day. All the other days I'm live for the private community. Let's see. Tesla Robotaxi event. Those types of events I usually don't put too much weight in, and I actually will avoid them. Like I will avoid trading like Tesla if they have a big event, or if like Nvidia has some sort of event, or like a shareholder day. Things like that I typically avoid. A lot of the times they're buy the rumor, sell the news types of events. They're not really something you want to mess around with. If the charts are really good, sure, but it's kind of the same way that I'll look at like CPI, PCE, NFP. Where if I do anything, I'll size it down. Favorite time frame for the swing? Daily. Daily. You only trade daily and weekly is what I use. But the daily is where I execute the most of my trades. Hawaii. So yeah, those are the setups there. Snow, GLD. I don't want to say it. All right, RKLB is the other one. Yes, you guys got your 3 there. All right. I kind of talked about that in the beginning, Alfie. You see, you have 2 competing theses really in the market right now that they're not mutually exclusive. Like one of them doesn't have to be wrong; they can both be right. And also bonds. Well, yeah, we kind of have been over that, but like right now, if you're seeing economic growth, and we've talked about good news now being good news and bad news now being bad news, for the market. So that is kind of what you saw on Friday, where the markets rallied, bond yields came to the upside, where people were rotating out of bonds and into the equity market. You saw the dollar moving up as well, which is what hurt gold. But you still have the reinflation risk. Oil's moving up. You had the port strike issue. The thing with the port strike stuff is I don't want you, and we'll get into a little bit of macro here, but just so that you guys have a little understanding of what we do. The port strike stuff, just because it's resolved, it doesn't mean that workers across the country are not going to be asking for higher wages over the next 2 years. If inflation expectations continue to maintain elevated and go up, what do you think a rational thinking human being would do if they think the prices of goods and services are going to be higher in the near future? Well, obviously they're going to ask for higher wages. The companies then have a couple of different options of what they can do. They can fire people and keep prices the same, which then you have unemployment going up and growth going down. So then you risk a recession, which I don't think is the likely outcome. Or you have them paying the wages, but then the prices of everything goes up because they're not going to let their margin get compressed. But you can have both. You can have both at the same time. It's just which is the market going to react to. On Friday, we saw again. You guys saw the movements in GLD and SLV. They were ready to go. I still definitely want to watch those this week. That's why they're still on the watch list. But we've been spot on the short bond trade. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, make sure you guys do. Short the VIX 2 is the @ I do give some setups throughout the week there as well, but I do talk a lot about macro and the bond market there as well. You guys love the bond market talk for some reason. Yeah, Hawaii. I wouldn't trade the 12-hour, the 4-hour. The daily is incredibly simple to trade. Incredibly simple. Shop was one that we were looking at last week. I know some of the people in the Discord are in that one because it is on the watch list. But I wouldn't chase it here. So those of you guys that are already in it, great for you. If you're Discord, do you give exact setups? It's the same thing that we do here. And then when I'm live, I'll be like, all right, I'm in this one. But and then anybody that's in the Discord, you guys can let everybody know what your experience has been like in it, just how you like it, and just what your experience has been like in there. So I mean, everybody's crushing it most of the time. If you swing trade in the daily, do you worry about entry time intraday, or do you just enter at the end of the day or something like that? No. So Jeffrey, that is all talked about in the educational courses that you guys have access to when you hop into the Discord. But no, it's when it breaks the levels that we talked about in this stream. So again, I try to avoid the first 5 minutes of the day because there's a lot of volatility happening at volumes coming in, open orders, good deal canceled orders getting hit. But yeah, other than that, like first 5-10 minutes and the last 5-10 minutes, I typically avoid. But anything other than that, I'm usually fine with if we're breaking levels and things look good. Do you see anything to be cautious of in the market, macro or technically? Yeah, I mean, I would do this. I'm gonna do the same things that we're still doing, Alfie. If you look at ES on the daily, you're actually not in a bad spot. Actually, I want to show you guys QQQ on the weekly first. QQQ on the daily here looks really bullish. QQQ on the weekly. So this is the basically Nasdaq ETF, Nasdaq 100. So QQQ on the weekly looks really bullish. QQQ on the daily also looks really good here as well. ES, S&P 500 futures, when you look at this, I mean, this is looking pretty good here. We were a little worried when we were coming down below this 10 EMA here. We needed to hold. We did with NFP. We easily could see some chop and retest down at that 10 EMA and then try and go for those all-time highs there at around like 58, what is that, 58.30? Right around there on ES. Are you going to swing during the elections? Yeah. Best Discord in the world, no questions asked. Thanks, Alfie. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, Ralph, we're doing Sunday swings, giving out some setups for free. Couple of them, not all of them. Snow was on there, GLD was on there, RKLB's on there. Those are the three that I gave everybody. All the other ones, there's like 9 for this week, so there's 6 more for you guys once you guys hop into the Discord, and you get your first month 50% off. It comes out to $1 a day. It's crazy. Like that's the crazy. People are charging thousands of dollars for stuff that isn't even as close to as good as this. But I'll keep doing these Sunday streams for you guys. But yeah, so any other questions that you guys have, let me know. I'll stay on for like another 4 minutes here. We'll do the stream for like a half hour and then yeah, Alfie. So I'll probably still be risking around 1. If things look good, I mean, things could always change. But yeah, I mean, Don, I'll have open positions for sure during the elections, but like just in terms of like the long term or the position trades that I have. But I mean, I might go cash for it, but it depends on what looks good. Like I have a position right now that you guys know about. It's small, but that could be a fun one, especially after this weekend. It's election related kind of. But yeah, as we get closer to the election, I'm going to give you guys a lot more ideas about like, okay, well, if this side wins, we could look at these areas. If the other side wins, we'll look at these types of stocks. Stuff like that to set ourselves up for success in the future. I mean, I'll take a look at CCL real quick for you. Travel's been looking all right. Yeah, not a fan of this chart here. Not a fan of this chart. I'm in. See you in the Discord. Robert, welcome, man. Welcome. Yeah, let me know. Again, you guys have any questions, you guys, I'm always around to answer. Yeah, make sure you start with the educational courses, though. Those are going to make the streams make a lot more sense. Oracle, not a fan of. And FTNT, I kind of like Alfie, but it's not my favorite. That's why they're not on the list. Ooh, hold on. We still here? We still here? Hold on. Did the stream go down? Did the stream just go down, or are we good? GE, I like. I think we're good, right? DJT on the watch, though. Yep. Yeah. You guys are giving a couple of them away. Those aren't even the ones that are on the watch list. GE, I cut that. That was part of the initial 12 that I had, but I took that one out because, again, the setups that we have and what makes us so successful is when I look at the market, guys, like you can put the setup on any, like you could look for the setup that I look for on any chart, but you're not going to get the same results unless you tie in the big picture. That's what trading is. It isn't this nonsense that you see on social media where it's like, oh, look at my little model that it's going to, no. That's not how this works. Like sector, like understanding sector rotations, hot sectors, leading stocks, and just the overall big picture is why we like think about China. Like just think about the Pinduoduo trade, the yin trade. Understanding what the Chinese economy was looking like, and this is probably where we'll wrap it up, just to give you guys a little understanding of how I do things. So, China had some really big issues with their real estate sector. They had these regulations where they were incentivizing these builders to just basically build at all costs. The problem was that there wasn't enough people to come in and actually fill these buildings. So there's a lot of vacancies. When you have oversupply, prices go down. Now, think about it. That's going to affect the whole entire real estate market. Now, most people's wealth is tied up in real estate. So if that happens and their net worths are continuously going down year after year on paper, well, they're probably not going to spend as much because their financial situation is less secure. So consumer spending goes down. What does that do? Well, it lowers domestic growth. So their economy struggles. Then they have all these other regulations where it incentivizes those private businesses versus the in the public sector there. So the odds that China was going to come in again and do some stimulus was relatively high. We saw some really good chart setups. Obviously, I didn't know that they were going to do it that night. But again, being in the right place at the right time, it's not luck. It's understanding the situations and the timing of everything. Sometimes things just play out perfectly, just like this PDD trade. I'm still holding some of my yin here. This was an unbelievable setup here that we were able to take advantage of. So, guys, that is probably going to be wrapping up here. I know I probably threw a lot of information at you guys, but that is going to wrap it up here for the first edition of Sunday Swings. If you guys haven't dropped a like on the video yet, make sure you guys do. Costs you nothing to do it. Helps me out a whole lot. If you guys do want to hop into the Discord, get your first month for 50% off. It comes out to $30. It's $1 a day. Come in, learn the strategies, join us in the streams. I'll throw the link in here, and the code is bullish to get your 50% off. So if you miss a Sunday, will it be available to watch later? Yeah. So this stream is going to be out here publicly for you guys the whole time. 30 minutes before market open makes sense. Yep. I will see you guys, all you guys in the Discord tomorrow at 9 a.m. The rest of you guys, I will see you guys on Friday for the public stream, and then next Sunday for another edition of Sunday Swings. But I hope you guys all crush it in the market. You guys have the setups. You guys can go back. You can those setups that I gave you, you guys can DM me, ask me questions about. It's fine. I don't really care. You guys can message me about them. Hopefully they print again. Not every stock that I identify is going to go absolutely nuts, but when they do go, they go pretty crazy. So I will see you guys tomorrow.